Hey, kids, how would you like to hear this on the screen instead of the great show you came to see? That's what you sound like. Honest. Please cooperate and do your part in keeping this theater quiet so everyone, including you, can enjoy it.
What is up, everybody? Welcome into the DNBA live show presented by Illegal Beats. I am your host, Adam Mates, and I am joined by the man with the wind in his hair, Harrison Wind.
Ooh, thanks, man.
Oh, baby.
Should I let it grow again, or should I keep it short?
Grow it.
Yeah, grow it out, man.
I want to see what you look like with flow. Like, what does
You
long hair
You
look
guys
like?
saw that. It was not good, though.
It
was not good.
Exactly. To be honest, you look the exact same.
Yeah.
I cannot tell the difference.
I still want to see you grow it just for sport.
Seated behind him with a giant window in the back, it's Eric Delanco.
That's right. Look at my giant window behind me.
That's a great feature. It's a very great feature. And then, of course, as always, not hosting tonight, but writing co-pilot, it's Brendan Vogt.
Just got back from the DNVR bar. Have you guys heard of it?
Shouts. I never heard of it.
I heard a little about it.
It opened up a couple years ago, right?
Yeah, it feels that way. No, but we reopened. I was at the DNVR bar today. Super dope. Had some great beers, hung out with some cool members. Can't wait to see you guys there.
That's so dope. We're actually streaming live right now at the DNVR bar. So shout
Yes.
out to all of the patrons who made it out, who braved it out to go today. Can't wait to see you all there. Now it's time to bring in one of our favorite guests, one of our good friends. It's superstar Dev Duvalier. Bring him on.
Repeat. He's back.
There
Can I
he
get some,
is.
can I get some horns going right now or something?
I got
There we go.
There we
Give me
go.
the applause.
It's like a cacophony of sounds. We used up the whole sound effects right there. Dev, man, it's great to have you back. How are you doing, brother?
I'm good. Thanks for having me. I'm glad that you guys have D-line still holding it down, still bringing it on.
We thought about getting out of them
a
several times.
shocker that you're back on the show and he's still on. I know.
Yeah.
It's surprising to me as well, to be honest.
I hope you have your takes prepared because I have a lot of takes. I always have a lot of takes, but I have a lot of takes for today because today's show is going to be on the various sort of proposals. I have a feeling we're going to know within a week exactly what the NBA is going to look like. Well, I shouldn't say that. What the plan for the NBA, the return is. It feels to me like we're getting really close. You guys feel that? They feel like we're
Definitely.
coming close to whatever decisions.
Yeah, it would be horrible for them to hype it up and get everybody's hopes up and then nothing happen. Like, there's just too many variables that they're looking at for just it to be like, never mind, you guys, just let it go.
It'd be like an MPJ Summer League situation all over again.
Yeah, they just don't get a bit. Well, plus they have the NHL. Like the NHL.
Do you remember
got
the hype for that? That was out of control.
Harrison, that's like too appropriate of a comment, to be honest, man. That's like too real. Because that's exactly how... You remember how much we hyped MPJ, that all the reports were coming out, and then it was, 2 days before Summer League began? They're like, oh, he's actually not going to play.
Right.
Yeah, you suckers flew out there. You should have gotten your
but you
car
have your
stolen
plane
like me.
ticket.
Then you would have had to stay home.
They could do it like Zion and do 1 or 2 games and then things go bad and they're like, never mind, let's just sit it down after that.
Yeah.
I know. That's the thing about Summer League. They're like, yeah, it's on. It's Summer League. You're going to see what the NBA is like. And then any sign of danger, they're like, you know what? It's just Summer League. So
Maybe, Malone and company were just practicing benching him early. And that
It's true.
It was really just a
moving
tool.
their legs.
No, I kid. But all right, guys. So the Ringer, actually, everybody's commented on this. Woj, the Ringer, Zach Lowe had an article about it today. The NBA is considering a bunch. I shouldn't say a bunch. 3 or 4 options. Like, been limited down to now 3 or 4 different options for the league to return, and I think they're really fascinating. They're all so different. Before we get into it, though, on a scale of 1 to 10, I think everybody's trying to like talk themselves into, hey, we're not going to have an asterisk for this year. Like, we're not. Everybody agree to that. But I think we all can agree that this year is a little different. I don't think it deserves an asterisk, but this year is a little different. It's going to feel a little weird. On a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being like total asterisk, this does not count, and 1 being like no asterisk, this is perfect. Where do you feel like you fall, Dev, on that scale?
I think it depends on who it is that wins it. So if LeBron wins it,
Oh man,
It's gonna be 10. Like they're gonna be like that year doesn't count. It doesn't matter. Say a weird team like the Nuggets, for instance, win it. They're like, no, we're not counting that either.
They're definitely not counting if the Nuggets win.
If anybody else wins it, then they're just like, it was fair. Everybody knows that it was fair. So I just think
the Nuggets.
Like who it is.
It's so true. Like if the Nuggets win it, they'll be like, man, that was LeBron's championship, and the Nuggets stole it. Let's put another notch in his.
Well, you guys know that title the Nuggets won. What year was that? 2020.
2020. Yeah.
I don't remember that one.
The Paul Pierce takes that would come after if the Nuggets won that. My goodness.
I hate myself. Why do we follow this team?
It seems like the trendy thing to say is that there shouldn't be an asterisk, but
Who knows what the word is?
man, this could be an unpopular take, but I think there's going to be a huge asterisk on this season. I just do, man. And people would try to compare this to the lockout year, the what was it, 98 lockout year, 99. This is entirely different, man. This is entirely different. There's going to be no home court advantage in the playoffs at all.
Yeah.
I mean, just that alone makes this a potentially huge asterisk. So I'm sorry to say it, but I think it's going to be a big one, really, no matter what.
What does it matter? That's the other part of this is like, okay, somebody has to win. It's even to everybody. I mean, you're right that the top seeds, it's a little unfair to them because they don't get that home court. But at the end of the day, you got the easiest path there. I mean, presumably. And at the end of the day, everybody had to go through this. So if you won, you outperformed everybody on a level playing field. Like, to me, you're right that this is completely different. But at the end of the day, it's just you have to win. You have to face the obstacle in front of you.
I don't think the champion would be crowned under unfair circumstances. I mean, the home court advantage thing is I think, a legitimate counter. But I'm in between you guys. I'm with Harrison in that it'll be viewed as one. But this is the first time I've sort of navigated one as a sports fan or media. And I have to say, I found that I don't care. Like maybe if you want to put an asterisk on it, that's fine. But like someone has to win this thing, and it's going to be difficult for everyone involved.
So I feel like the level of play is going to dictate a lot of how we feel about it. Like if it feels like diminished, like people are rusty and we get crummy play, and just sort of, I mean, like that will be the absolute asterisk. But it's just funny, like in the times that we're in, where you're just forced to sort of like look at sports and what they mean in your life, and whether or not something matters or it counts, or it's like, dude, I don't know, somebody's going to win. It means something in and of itself. Does it mean something in the annals of history? I don't know. Like, but who cares? Like I'm with you, but like, let's just play it, see what happens. And then but people always, after the fact, want to discredit anything that's ever happened if it didn't happen favorably in their eyes. So
of course,
that this is the easiest thing to tear down, unless you feel favorably about the outcome.
Unless your squad wins, right?
Yeah, so
we've proven that we can tear down anything or anybody for anything. Like it doesn't matter. So a championship, we're definitely gonna.
Yeah, like LeBron, like gerrymanders his teams, and MJ was a jerk, so his stuff doesn't count. Like it just like doesn't matter. You can always find some reason to discount whatever it is you don't like.
On the flip side, if Chanchar gets catches it and has to sit out, I'm gonna be like, guys, this doesn't. Chanchar wasn't there, he wasn't even available. Like we can't. The Nuggets did not fail. They did. I mean,
if the Oklahoma City Thunder win a championship this year, like I just. Yeah. It's just going to come with the rest of the paragraph that they won it under these circumstances.
That's actually the most fair one to hypothesize about, because Chris Paul winning in this year would just be too rich. That would be, he of all people would be the funniest one.
I know. I think you could make a story with each person, though. Like whoever wins it, you'll make a story based off of that. But the thing is, everybody has the same, chance of like sitting out for a long time. So then you have to see what are the positives, or what is the strategies or advantages that a team has. So I think it depends on, that's why I think it depends on who wins it, because you're just going to find a narrative about why that team won it.
I think literally it's only if LeBron wins it, people will be like, yeah, cool. That one totally counts. And if anybody else wins it, it'll be like, no.
I think the producer guy is asleep at the wheel because Vogt has been in the backstage. He's just watching this for like 3 minutes. There he is.
Guys just over me. I have to say, Eric, that you're wrong. There would be two scenarios. I would accept LeBron or the Nuggets. Everything outside of that.
You personally, I'm saying the larger community maybe doesn't have the maybe didn't move to Denver to cover the Nuggets. That might be the
Another
difference
thing
between the large-
people are talking about is that the basketball is going to be terrible. And I think, first of all, look, it's not going to be a regular playoffs where everybody – you've been that whole season, the point of a season is like getting ready for the playoffs.
Yes.
But I also don't think – a lot of people are saying it's going to be like Summer League or it's going to be like the first week of the season. It's going to be somewhere in between there. The thing about the first week of the season is, sure, you're just coming off of an off season and training camp, but guys also don't care. Like, most players are like, it's October, especially the veterans are like, it's October. But now you have to care. You have to be at your top. You have to be at your best. So what do you think, Deb? How good or bad do you think the level of play will be?
I think that regardless of anything, you should bet the under, no matter what it is.
Yes.
Because it's going to be
basketball.
But it's still going to be so entertaining, and people are going to care so much right off like rip, and you want to prove that you were putting in work whenever it was happening, and you want to prove that your team has this camaraderie, and we came back together and we played well. So I think it'll be so entertaining because we haven't seen basketball in so long that we don't care how it looks.
Yeah.
All I know is that any time somebody gets injured and they come back, it takes a minimum of 2 weeks for them to look like the rest of the players on the court. But if everybody's coming, I mean, I guess it maybe that is because everybody else is in the flow and they are not. So maybe everybody's starting from zero. It just sort of is the same level of play.
I am more worried about the injuries than the actual level of play, though.
That's a good point.
I think the injuries are something to be really concerned about. And I think the good news is it seems like they're going to get a little more of a ramp-up time than I originally thought. Yeah. Like, I was thinking
maybe
like 2
2
to 3 weeks. Now it's seeming like a month. I think that's enough to get back in shape.
There's a chance that some of these guys are still in shape, too. And I agree with your concerns, but to play devil's advocate a bit, I mean, maybe some of these guys are entering the playoffs a lot more fresh, right? And so there is a different way to look at it. But I'm with Devin that I'm like, that's the least of my concerns, right? Is it up to my standards? I don't know. Is it playoff basketball? I'll take it.
This is going to be the playoff season of the wily vet. Like, I bet Andre Miller could come back.
Well, speaking of which, I actually threw out in our group chat, our roundtable yesterday, that Paul Millsap might actually
totally
in a sneaky way. This might be perfect for him. He got all those months off. He's going to come in fully rested. It's like, oh, you only need me to play like 20 games? Yeah, I'm in. Let's do it. Like, we might get peak Paul Millsap.
Oh my God, I'm going to make this shirt.
Just like 18, 10, and 6 from Paul Millsap. That'd be awesome.
I'm going to make the M. Paul V shirt. I'm doing it right now.
Unless the level of play is really, really bad, then I don't think it's going to be an issue. But, man, I would watch Terry Rozier jack up 20 footers right now. I would love that.
Me too. I want to see anybody jack up a bunch of shots.
Let's get in. Let's keep this moving, though, because I want to now bring in the first sort of proposal. And it's a little weird. It's the group play proposal. So if you don't know, the group play, this is sort of mimicking the World Cup where you would break everybody into tiers, and then there would be like, so there's 4 tier 1 teams, as we can see right now, the Bucks, Lakers, Raptors, and Clippers. Those are just the 4 best teams in the NBA by their record. They're in tier 1. So they get separated. They each basically have their own group. And then you have tier 2, 3, 4, 5, and so on. And then the way this would work is the teams would play each other in their pool. They would play everybody twice, and then your end record at the end of that, the top 2 teams advance to the next round. This is how you do it in World Cup, and it's kind of like EuroLeague soccer and stuff. They have these types of formats, and the reason that you would do this, just to kind of put some backstory here, the reason you would do this is right now, if you just went into the playoffs, you'd have 16 teams. This allows you to open it up to even more teams. So you got, what is this, 4 groups? You got 20 teams. You get 4 extra teams in here. And there's been all this talk about, do you play the regular season or go straight into the playoffs? You don't want to lose that money that you're supposed to get. This adds a couple extra games. It's like, okay, it's not a regular season. It's not quite a playoff. It's like a preliminary playoff. First of all, just from the idea, Dev, do you like this idea, or do you think it would be fun?
I think it would be fun. I think it adds a different element instead of like the East versus the West and things of that nature. You just put it with the tier and you get to go at it. I think that what makes it so unique is that you have the regular season game and then you're like, okay, I lost 2 games early. Now we have to – it's treated as a playoff game. Every single game, it is straight to the playoffs, but you also get that chance. Then you also have those 4 teams who it really does matter for that you get to add on. And quite frankly, there's not enough space to even have all 30 teams. So putting it at 20 teams and then a cutoff, it makes it a lot better.
My initial pushback is just like, if you're one of those teams that wants to climb your way into this, backdoor your way into this, tough luck. You should have won more games. And I know it's an 82-game season and they didn't get all 82, so I'm open to this. But there is also like the futility of an 8 or a 7 seed winning to begin with. And so if we're trying to figure out like how do we limit essential personnel, it's not a difficult leap for me to say, okay, well, let's just not invite those teams because, like, it'd be nice for Portland, I'm sure, but they're not winning a title. So what are we doing here?
Yeah, man, it makes me crazy the idea that the Nuggets can just get bounced out in the. They played 2 games or 4 games. They blow it on a couple. Then they were the 4 seed, but they just get like the Kings get it. It makes me crazy. Like I love the idea of sort of like I feel like. They should look at what hockey is doing, where the top teams play round robin to figure out their seeding, and then the bottom teams can sort of like fight it out to see, I think it's been suggested like a play-in tournament essentially, but I don't like mixing the teams that had earned their rightful position with teams that just get like shoehorned in, and then everybody's on equal footing at that point. Like,
yeah. I mean, it's tough because, like, the Kings and Spurs and Blazers, really, and, I mean, those guys should have none. They do not deserve the privilege of playing in a quote-unquote postseason. They just don't. That's the one drawback of this group stage. But other than that, like, I really like it. The biggest problem with the NBA playoffs right now is that there are, like, 4 series in the first round that just don't matter. Nobody watches. They're not interesting. You know what's going to happen ahead of time. This just makes the opening round of the playoffs so much more interesting, and I think that's the worst thing about the NBA playoffs right now. You have an 82-game season that not a lot of people pay attention to if you're a casual fan, and then the first round you have a handful of series that nobody really cares about either.
I cared about it last year a lot.
The idea
I'm talking about the casual fan.
The idea of trying to change this stuff up is enticing, but trying to fit it all in this year, I thought Keith kind of nailed it when he framed it that way last night. I'm open to change, and I'm not a traditionalist in any sense, but why complicate this matter that's already so complicated?
Yeah.
To your point, it is kind of lame that the Kings get in, Harrison. And like some of these teams, like I think the Pelicans, look, I want to watch them play. The Blazers, I want to watch them play. The Spurs, the Kings, it's like, what are we doing? Like, they
are exactly the same situation as the Nuggets. Like they get to play the same number of games as the Nuggets in the same location with the same consequences. Yeah. Like the top teams get absolutely no benefit for the season they just played.
Right. The Bucks have been going this whole season saying, okay, let's get the number 1 seed and we're going to play a team that sucks. Like we're going to get to play the Orlando Magic, who maybe can get to 40 wins.
And you want to say
now they're in a tough group.
Strong agree, Wind. And you want to say, the regular season doesn't matter. Well, the way it does matter is this. These guys fought for that seeding and they earned that advantage. So if you strip it from them, I mean, the regular season officially doesn't matter. So it's tough.
Right. So is this being discussed with the league, or this is just like
everything's on the table, man? If
you're told that it is. We're told it's on the table. Adam Silver used to be in charge of like entertainment for the league. That was his role before becoming commissioner. And I guess he really has been pushing this for a long time. He's really wanted to change things up, and he's very much an outside-the-box thinker. So I don't know if this is going to go through because I think there's a lot of pushback. I also think we talk about asterisks. If you just come back and do a regular, straight into the playoffs, let's just go, there might people I think can maybe get on board with it. But if you go into and you start doing stuff like this, people are going to be like, "What the heck, man? There was like 17 very different things about that year." We're gonna
You're almost leaning in to asterisks.
Yeah. Which to the earlier point, like maybe asterisks is unavoidable. So just making it as entertaining as possible is the best option.
Yeah. Certainly not as easy a decision for anyone right now as we'd like it to be.
Harrison, why don't you take us to break, and on the other side, let's now look at that bracket, though, and just because maybe it does happen, let's look and see how the Nuggets would do in that scenario, if they would make it out of their pool. But first, Harrison.
Well, hopefully we're watching the playoffs in whatever format they agree on, and hopefully we're watching the playoffs while drinking some Mile High City Copper Lager from Breck Brew. Did you take one of those down at the DNVR bar today, Vote? Because I know it's on tap there.
You heard
I would
about
say
that,
I
Art?
would say it took him down.
Yeah, no, I had one of those. Yeah,
Yeah. How was
yeah.
it?
It was
How
great.
was it from the tap?
It was delicious. It was better than from the can. Who knew? But also better because it came in a glass in a bar with the words DNVR everywhere, and that's all I needed.
Yeah. And at the DNVR bar, you can get those members beers, which are a little bit bigger.
A lot. Ambitious. There's a lot. Arduous.
Yeah.
Daunting.
I watched our own Ali Monroy turn down a member-sized beer because it was too ambitious.
I invited friend of the show TJ McBride today, and that was a mistake because everyone was forced to take a shot once we got there.
Well, he probably gave us some good business. So.
Yeah.
Check out the Mile High City Copper Lager. You can get it anywhere. You can get it from Davidson's. You can get it from Breck Brew. You can get it at the DNVR bar as well. Also, guys, the best online school in Denver, maybe even the entire country. MSU
Wow.
Denver Online.
Go Roadrunners.
Let's go.
Go freaking Roadrunners. MSU Denver Online puts a dynamic education at your fingertips. What's great about MSU Denver Online is it's awesome for if you're a first-time college student, if you're a freshman just going to school for the first time, if you're looking to go back and finish your degree, or if you're maybe looking to get a second degree or a master's to go on top of your bachelor's. MSU Denver Online probably has a class and a program for you. So check them out. Some of us here at DNVR are going to be taking some classes this summer, so we'll let you know how it is.
All right, I guess Adam's just over it, so I'll take over.
Where'd Adam go?
He went to the
Adam,
bar,
great
clearly.
guy. If you want to bring that graphic back with those FIFA-esque groups there, I want to run through this Nuggets group with you guys. Dev, taking a look at Group 4 there. Clippers, Nuggets, Pacers, Nets, Kings. I mean, that doesn't stand out to me as a group of death. I mean, the Clippers are obviously a tough matchup, but not the toughest. And the rest of that group, I think they can take. Am I wrong?
Just based off of looking at that group itself, this is the best case scenario that the Nuggets can have. Like, I don't see, like, it would just literally be them and the Clippers right now. You know, with the Nets having their injuries, I'm not sure if they would come back. The Pacers, they're the Pacers. The Kings are in a very, very rough drought. So
Right.
This would be shocking for them to even be in this possible stage. This is a great scenario for the Nuggets where I think that they will pull out of this very easy. But that is, like somebody said, the Nets have beat the Nuggets this year.
Yeah.
They've lost to everybody in this.
Yeah.
Based off of
Man. I'd actually be a little worried if the Nuggets got into this group. I mean, they never play well against the Nets. They just cannot stop Jared Allen. I don't think Kevin Durant's gonna be back, so that's the good news. And the Pacers are like the Eastern Conference version of the Nuggets. They got smacked by the Clippers on national TV. Kings have given them trouble in the past with De'Aaron Fox. I don't know. I'd be a little nervous if I'm the Nuggets.
Yeah, but then if you look at Group 1, 2, and 3, that's just not good groupings. This has to be the best group for the Nuggets.
I agree. You're playing tough teams no matter what you do here. I also think maybe this is assumptive, but I just don't care like how Jokic and company looked against the Nets or the Kings in February, November, or whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, I just think if it's playoff time and they gotta go, I like the Nuggets' chances against all those teams.
Yeah, I mean, is there a group you'd rather be in? It seems
That's
like
the
there's-
Yeah.
Probably not, actually. Probably not.
There's tough teams in the playoffs. What's the group of death here? I mean, 1 or 2 seem rough.
Probably
two.
3.
You think 3? I think 2 looks pretty rough to me.
I
Lakers.
think 2 is a rough group to be in, and 3 is just a dogfight every single match.
Yeah, 3 doesn't have any like super
Adam's
top
there.
tiers, but they're all good. They're just like
Yeah.
all tough.
Right. There's no. I mean, maybe the Spurs, but there's no games you want there. With 2, who's the best team in? I mean, the second best team in 2. Would you have Miami or Houston coming out of that group?
Man, those are both really tough as well. That'd be a
I would
really
go
interesting
Houston.
one.
Houston.
Yeah, I would too.
Yeah, I'd go
and also
Houston, too.
Their team is fit for this type of scenario because they don't have to have PJ Tucker play for a long time at that center position in a group that doesn't have very good bigs. So they become like one of it becomes an advantage actually.
So what about if we go in Group 4? So Clippers. I don't know if you did this while I was out here, but
A little
Clippers.
bit.
It's like what do they go? They play 2 games against them, 1-1.
Yeah, you go 1-1 and you take that.
Pacers, you probably go 1-1 as well.
Yeah. I mean, the Pacers are just
good.
one of those teams that's a little bit better than you think, right?
They're the Nuggets of the East. Like you
really did miss
It's
that
always
last
weird
segment.
when we discount them. Like, oh, they're not actually good. It's like,
Just let MPJ loose against the Pacers, and
Yeah,
he'll take care of
please.
the rest.
man,
I
for real,
know.
that is the MPJ game. The Nets. Here's where it gets interesting because you got to go
JD,
4-0 against Nets
come
and
back.
Kings.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
I'm
so
not worried.
if you split the Pacers and Clippers and you beat the Nets and Kings both times, that's good enough to advance. Like, how many wins would you need to advance out of a group, you think?
In this one, you probably need 7.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That'd be tough.
One,
You
two,
think
three- I
so?
guess you only play 8, so you would need 5 of 8. Go 5.
Yeah,
5 and
5.
3.
That's
You
what I
probably
was
feel good with 5 wins.
Yeah.
What do they go, Dev? In your opinion, what do they go in this?
Yeah, you probably need 5 wins. I think that they would. I think they would beat the Pacers both times.
6-2, maybe.
Yeah, I think that, 6-2.
All right, so they advance. This is great. All right, let's do it.
We did it! Yeah.
So we're all for the proposed change. Okay.
Who's the MVP of this? Is like, probably Kawhi is like
Yeah.
the MVP of this round.
Ooh,
Jokic
what
has
if
a
you?
good chance
Yeah,
to
do you
be-
give out like MVP awards for the group stage? I would think so, right?
Yeah, I
Jokic
don't
is the second best player in this group, right?
know. Behind Kawhi, and he has a chance to be number 1. Yeah, it'd be interesting. It'd be a fun one. I like this one. We go through the other brackets. So if Group 1, Bucks obviously advance. Who also comes out of that one?
I still like Philly, man. I know
Yeah, give me
everyone's out
Philly.
on Philly,
I do
but-
Give me Philly.
especially after that Bogdanovich injury for Utah.
Although it would probably
Philly's a playoff team, not a.
it would probably be
regular
the
season
Blazers, just because.
What do you think, Dev?
I would go with Philly. Philly has to be the second team.
Yeah.
They haven't beat. They have Ben Simmons. It matters.
You want a hot take?
Yeah.
My third best team who had a chance at it is the Grizzlies. Grizzlies have a shot
Ooh.
at that one. Maybe not, but they have a
That's pretty
shot.
hot.
Yeah, because the Jazz might not be a team by that point.
They're not. They're no
Philadelphia might break out in civil war over their 2 stars by the time.
Group 2. I mean, obviously Lakers. Everybody said Rockets. Deb, did
Yeah.
you go Rockets there?
Rockets for sure. I don't see how it would be Miami.
I don't think the Magic win a game. I think the Magic are in Orlando in the home court and they go 0-8.
Yeah, as they should. They should not win a game. The Magic should have to start every game down 10 points.
And then just think about the disaster that would be the Pelicans trying to play their fast-paced brand of basketball, beating Rusty. That would be rough.
I like this question from Jarrett. Which tier 3 or 4 team? Like, if this was a random draw, which are like the gimme games that would scare you the most? I mean, you got to take Houston, right? OKC.
So if the way this would work, if 2 teams advance, that wouldn't that mean you would play the winner of another group, like to the
Yes.
second seed? So we'd have to. You're talking either Bucks, Lakers, or Raptors. It's either whoever comes out of Raptors, Celtics. That one. That's who you'd hope to get.
Well, you'd probably, since the Nuggets are in Group 4, are they they're not the last 2 seed, though. They're the top tier 2 team.
Oh,
Right?
that's true.
Yes,
yeah.
that would be correct.
So the Clippers are the 4th tier 1 team. The Nuggets are the top tier 2 team, I'm guessing.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what that means.
So
Jason.
so they might play like the Jazz, or I mean,
the Bucks.
they might play the Raptors if the Raptors are the lowest tier 3 team.
Hey, it all seems easier than like both LA teams in Houston, or like one LA team in Houston.
I think Raptors, Celtics both come out of Group 3 though. That would be my guess.
Yeah, I would
yeah.
agree with that.
Okay. All right, let's
So-
move on. That was an interesting. I think it's interesting at least to look at, and I think it'd be fun, if not pretty nerve-wracking.
Really quick, Adam, I know you just want to move on, but I am curious just generally what you guys think. Celtics or Raptors, are either of those title teams, or are they very, very good non-contenders?
I don't think the Raptors are.
Is there any chance either of those teams wins the NBA championship?
Yes, in a normal year, no, but this year, yeah. Like they're so
Sure.
Yeah,
deep.
I mean, like,
I don't know.
It's just every
Everybody
time I
but
look
the
at those teams, I'm not sure. Like, do I pencil them in as tough out, but they're probably not going to win, or am I not taking them seriously enough? But
yeah, I mean, I don't even know what the Nuggets look like anymore. I think I was joking with you guys. I don't. Remember how Troy Daniels was on our team?
Do you want to? You want to see? They look like
Yeah.
this. Hurry.
Ah!
They
There
look
it is.
great.
That's
They
the
look great.
All right, let's check out this other bracket. This is just a straight up, you're going into the playoffs, but this is another thing that's being proposed. No conferences. We're just going the top 16 teams, and you're seeded in just like by how you are. So Denver, in this case, has the 6th best record. They're number 6. They also would take on the Pacers, so kind of coincidentally, they're in the same. They got a similar matchup. How far, Dev, do the Nuggets go in this bracket?
They go to the conference finals.
Yeah.
The conference
The
finals.
semifinal, I guess, at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The third stage.
the semifinals. With this, is it a 1-game play-in?
No. So this would be a 7-round series. So this is like the Pacers Nuggets 7 round.
Nuggets Pacers will be played on Facebook Live.
That's so funny.
It's the only way you can get, like,
That is not an interesting first round play. Like we'd be the only ones watching that.
We'd be the only ones. We'd be the only
It's a bonus versus Jokic. It's like really compelling, but nobody cares.
Don't forget about Malcolm
But
Brogdon.
again, this is a situation where the Nuggets, kind of they look like they have another advantage until they have to meet up against the Lakers or the Rockets, depending on how they look.
You like that Raptors series, Dev?
Yeah, I think that would be a tough one, a very, very tough one for the Nuggets. But I think that they get through, and that's when I think that they have to play one of those Lakers, Lakers most likely, and then it's just destiny at that point.
Let's go. Did you know that
Harrison, Nuggets Pacers, who wins and how many games?
Nuggets in 6.
You think they win on the road? Okay, never mind.
Well, there's no home court advantage, so yes, Nuggets in 6.
you think they win in the Magic Kingdom?
What do you go on that? Nuggets.
I'm with
Pacers?
Win. Nuggets in 6. I want to say 5, but I'm not confident enough for 5.
What do you think, Eric?
Well, so what is the impetus for this proposed? Like, why are we? Where is this coming from? Is this like just to be more interesting, or this is like why wouldn't it just be like a normal?
It's a good
If they're going to
question.
go straight into,
Well, I'll tell you exactly why. Because people have wanted the 1 through 16 for a while, and the one thing you run up against in the 116 is the travel. And you don't travel when you're all chilling at Disney World for a month or 2 months.
and so this is sort of like
that's why they could do it this year.
Right.
and we're sort of like in all bets are off anyway. Let's like go ahead and do try and achieve our wildest dreams. Like I think the Nuggets will win in 6 also. I mean, that you don't realize how good they are until you play them. But
Yes.
the Nuggets are also that team, and we have Jokic, and I'm not scared of any team that we play when Jokic plays like Jokic.
I love that. I mean, Jokic is so much better than any other player in that series. And at the end of the day, in the NBA playoffs, that's what most.
That's really all that
comes down
matters,
to.
dude. You just need like the dominant player. Like we just need one of our other guys to step up. Jamal, MPJ, like Paul Millsap, a surprisingly spry and fresh and rested Paul Millsap. Like, I mean, I don't know. Jeremy Grant, like, come on.
Fun fact: all 16 teams would be the same this year. So we would abolish conferences, but we wouldn't be putting any teams in over other teams.
But I do think that's cool, though. I hate when you have like a 50-win team that's an 8 seed, and they have to go up against a juggernaut, and then you have the East that has like some 38-win team that's like, you know what, they might actually go to the finals. Who knows? Right. So I do think it's something cool about like giving the top tier teams a little bit of a. Even if you think about the Nuggets, what is it? The Rockets that are who they would go up against in the West. That's a tough one. The Pacers are at least
Rather play the Pacers all day, right?
Yeah, that's at least a more reasonable one. If we go to the other side, I assume everybody has the Lakers beating Nets in 4. I mean, that's a stupid series. The Jazz.
Wait, can I ask you, what is Victor Oladipo's status these days?
He's playing. He was playing. He was not 100%. Like he was back,
He's
but he
benefiting
clearly
from this,
wasn't
probably.
in the swing of things. So maybe some time off. He's like.
That's what I mean. Like that's the one thing, the one factor playing the Pacers that like makes me a little nervous.
It
Since we're talking about random people, is Andre Roberson ever going to play basketball?
Don't talk about my son that way.
No, seriously, he's been out for about a decade.
What team is he on right now?
I think he was out long enough for the league to completely figure out how to like win against people that can't score.
And it was to score.
So seriously, how long has he been
misses
out
the
for?
window.
It's been like 5 years.
He's been out for like 2 years.
Yeah.
Actually, 2 years.
2 years.
2 full years.
Yeah,
But he might
it's
just
sad.
be out. Like he might
Yeah,
be
it's
out
sad.
the league.
I just typed Andre Roberson into Google, and the autofill question was, "How long is Andre Roberson?"
Everybody's been asking this. I love it. Another thing about this one, Jazz Rockets keeps happening. The Jazz. Rudy
He
Gobert
can't
is
escape
like,
it.
Rudy Gobert's like Jokic.
Damned
and
to
everybody
replace
is, and that like their defensive impact is just so greatly reduced by having to guard guards. And Rudy Gobert keeps getting the playoffs, having to guard James Harden and getting smoked. So.
I know.
I
but
need that series.
Oh,
The
so
Indiana
sweet.
addition that to be geared around the Jazz for that whole thing is just going to take away from their team completely. Like, you're going to just follow them and ask them quarantine questions the entire time. They're not going to want to play basketball.
It's true.
Can you imagine if the Jazz just requested, like, we would like to gift our spot to somebody else if anybody wants it.
Portland is just going to raise their hand. And
The Kings are just like, hey, we'll
Yeah,
do it.
we're experiencing a little bit too much internal turmoil at the moment.
They reach out to Portland, but Dame can't be bothered.
If we go to the other side just for fun here, Bucks sweep the Magic. I mean, the Magic. It's so sad. It's so funny that they get to be in this tournament in Orlando, and like I can't see a single series they can get a game in.
I don't think they would win a single game.
The Heat and the Thunder. That's a fun one. I kind of like
That
it.
is a fun
That's
one.
a fun one. I think that's the series I'd be most interested in.
Okay, let's do it. So we got Heat Thunder. Dev, how's it go?
the Heat are just, it's a difficult team for me to, like, gauge.
Yeah.
I don't know if they're good or if they just try very hard.
Either.
No, they.
I say the Thunder get by them. They're just a tough team. They're young. I think that they just play like with cohesion. It's not just like let's give it to the star player and see what happens. I think the Thunder win that.
I want to hear the comments. People, tell me what you guys think about that one, because to me, I'm actually really fascinated by that one. Vote. What do you have in that series?
I'm with Dev. I'm going back to my best player thing. I mean, I'm all in on Jimmy Butler, but these are two teams with some younger guys, right? That might be a little too overhyped, might not know what to expect. Give me the point guard whose playoff resume hasn't gone maybe quite the way he wanted, but I think is built for these moments nonetheless. And I like that Thunder team a lot.
Wind? Are we taking the underdog across the board?
No, I'm taking the Heat. I'm taking the Heat in 6. They just have so many more weapons than the Thunder. I mean, the Thunder are going to be relying on that Dort guy to score like 12 points a game.
I kind of want to change my pick just after you put that way right there.
Lou against Dort. Nice 3-and-D player, but I don't know if you want to rely on him in the playoffs.
He's their Torrey Craig. What do you think, D-line?
Tyler Hero ready?
Yeah, I mean, the playoffs comes down to the playoffs. It like really matters that you have the best players in the series. I don't know, Jimmy Butler, Bam. I don't know. I'd have a hard time betting against them. Because when I think of the Thunder, I mean, I maybe unfairly, I just think of them as like an old team. And maybe that's because of just Chris Paul, but I guess they have a lot of young players also. But it's like
team,
Gallo and Chris Paul, and then they have a lot of like.
I can't believe I forgot about Gallo.
Yeah, I don't know. Like the Heat or the Thunder to me feel like a team that was sort of like put together because they had to. They were just like acquiring draft picks and trying to rebuild, and like they figured out on accident that they were kind of good.
If you want to hitch your wagon to Dennis Schroeder in the playoffs,
yeah.
Go ahead. I'm not doing that.
No, I feel like we get like Jimmy Butler's absolute best. You don't think so?
I like that none of the best players in that series guard each other. Like Chris Paul, Jimmy Butler, that's a 1 and a 2. Then you got Gallo, and then Bam Adebayo. Those are the 4 best players, and they don't match up at all.
Mm-hmm. No.
So
I just think that would be
that's great.
The hardest series to predict the winner, and I think the one that also to me those are two of the teams that are like they're both good, but they might be even more fun than they are good. You know, so
Chris Paul gets Jimmy Butler disqualified for breaking curfew.
That's a tech. Jimmy's got some shit on his arm.
This is an all-time moment. I know the rules. Clippers Mavs. This is a fun one. Oh, if Luka and the Mavs upset the Clippers, oh my God.
I can't see it. It'd be fun, but I can't see it.
Dev, how's that series go?
However Kawhi Leonard wants it to go.
Who's guarding him? Tim Hardaway?
He would do whatever he wanted, and if he got tired of doing whatever he wanted, then Paul George would do whatever he wanted.
Oh yeah.
Is this a 4-game?
Yeah, because they're going to just put them on Luka, and then Luka's not Luka anymore.
You got
Kawhi's gonna
Pat
pick a
Beverly
game,
on Luka too.
Yeah,
I mean,
they have so many defenders.
Yeah.
The Clippers actually become a very entertaining team in these type of scenarios because they're going to win based off of defense when everybody else is sloppy, and then they also have star power offensively when they have to.
Yeah, they're not working on chemistry on offense, right? It's like, hey, Kawhi, Paul, can you get us a bucket?
Yeah,
Right.
that's easy. That's easy.
Did we have the Mavs insider come in and essentially say that if they had to play the Clippers, that it was just certain doom, that they had absolutely no chance of matching up against them?
I don't remember.
Okay.
The comments, I don't see. I didn't see anybody in the comments predict the Clippers Mavs, but it sounds like everybody's Clippers in 4 or 5. Then Celtics Sixers, another just great matchup.
That's a great
because these teams
matchup.
don't like each other, and there's like a lot of pride on this one. Like both teams, I guess the Celtics, they're not going to like completely fall apart if they were to lose this one, but I think a lot of people would kind of like they'd be on the clock.
Philly
But
would.
But if Philly lost that one,
We're
I think
talking
that-
trades.
Oh my goodness, Simmons, we might be on the block. We might
Right,
be getting out of there.
we're talking the process part two.
The process is done. Dev, how's that one go? Celtics 76ers.
Yeah, I feel sad for whoever loses. Honestly, it does. That series, whoever loses breaks up their team. Like the process, you can't trust the process anymore. But then Boston has all of these young studs that you could basically get some type of trades for. Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum, no more. I think I would go with. I was saying the Sixers. I think that the Celtics, they have Jason Tatum. You don't have to worry about Joel Embiid and his injuries or anything else that's going on with him. I think I'm a flip over to Boston winning that in 6.
Well, okay. I think Boston wins too. I don't know. I'm curious how Embiid handles this layoff. I'm curious how that team handles being like in that place for that long and having to go through that training camp for that long. I think the 76ers could put it together and be good, but I'm out on them.
The Sixers have real problems this year. I mean, they're the 12th seed, not by accident.
I know, but it was also like the Sixers had almost a Nuggets year in that they could win a game by 20, but if the vibe wasn't right, everyone
They had a big Nuggets year. It's a great point. They had a big time Nuggets
but
year.
the Nuggets are the 6th seed. They're the 12th.
Well, yeah, it added. Yeah, I see what you're saying. I just mean like there was this weird disconnect between the vibe and the actual level of aggregate talent.
I think they had like real dysfunction, like real issues this year, and like a lot of their wins came when Embiid was out, and then.
Look, man, I think Wynn nailed it earlier. He said Philly's a playoff team, not a regular season team, and I agree with that strongly. And things have changed. It's a different season, but they were a pick 1 of 4 bounces away, right, from their title shot last year as well. So I still like their aggregate talent. If this was a traditional format too, I think they're like well set up to play a Giannis-led team. So I'm not out on Philly yet.
Yeah, who comes out of that left side of the bracket? I mean, we've narrowed it down to Bucks, Heat, Clippers, and Celtics. Looks like.
That comment was good.
I didn't even see it. Damn it.
He said Embiid has not been walking around Wash Park. You look so good. What's your question, Alan?
I asked Dev who's coming out of that left side of that bracket: Bucks, Heat, Clippers, or Celtics.
The Clippers.
Ooh,
man, that's such a good series. Clippers Bucks would be such a fun one. That left side's
The
actually
Clippers,
a very
That would be fun,
Really,
man.
when it comes to basketball, like everyone else has to get some type of rhythm going. The Clippers don't, because they have defense, and that changes a lot of things.
I like your logic there, man.
That you don't have to worry about when you come back. When you come back, you're just playing basketball. At the end of the day, they're still playing basketball. But everyone else, you got to have shooters are on. You have to have chemistry. You have to have everything else going for you to go right. Plus, Giannis still has to be Giannis with everyone else around him. I think that regardless, I think that I was going to have the Clippers being one of the contenders this year.
Clippers,
So it
Lakers.
just made it easier for me.
It feels inevitable.
it is. It's a fait accompli.
Hey, Kawhi beat Giannis in the playoffs last year. I've got him to beat him again this year in this scenario.
Can you imagine? Oh my God, That'd be incredible. All right, take us to break, Win. But when on the other side, we have a guest live from the DNVR bar.
Ooh.
That's right. We have a guest joining us. We're going to suss out the final version of the playoffs very quickly and then go right into the steps. But first, Harrison.
Yeah, guys, you can get Strava Craft coffee. Can you hear me?
Just quit,
Good.
Harrison.
Good.
Just quit,
Good.
dude. You don't need this shit.
You guys can get Strava Craft coffee for 20% off using the code DNVR20. I think we should get some Strava Craft coffee popping at the bar.
Yeah,
I feel like that'd be a good
Yeah.
addition.
I think that's the plan.
Yeah. So you guys can get it online until we have it at the bar. 20% off when you use the code DNVR20, StravaCraftCoffee.com. And also, I want to talk about the DNVR Raptors for a little bit. We watched this rugby game on Sunday, or was that Saturday? Whatever it was. An incredible comeback that the Raptors had. 32-0 they were down, and then they just casually come back to win that rugby game. Incredible
That's like
stuff.
6 touches in a try and two twirlies. I don't even know the lingo. I forgot.
You had us till that
That
last.
sounds about right. Sounds about right. My favorite thing about these DNVR watches when we're watching these Raptors games, probably the announcing. Some legendary announcing calls have been popping off. So if you want to get involved, we are going to be watching some more Raptors games on the weekends. Follow along on Twitter, hashtag DNVR watches. Subscribe to the DNVR Raptors podcast with Colton Strickler.
All right, now it's time we can bring on our guest live from the DNVR bar. It is Huckleberry. Bring him on in.
That's Quentin. That's Quentin.
Yeah,
I think
yeah. Can you hear us, Quentin?
Huckleberry, you are on the show. Yes.
Yeah.
That's my guy, Quentin. Quentin just moved to Denver a month ago. I just met him at the bar 2 hours ago. Nice
He
to see
can't
you.
hear anything. So,
I drink a beer with Quentin 1 hour ago.
oh,
It
that's
was
great.
amazing.
All right, there you go. He says his name is Huckleberry on here, so we have to call him Huckleberry.
Oh, that's true.
All right,
I think
that's fair.
I think it's
He'll be our
whatever you
Huckleberry.
put.
He'll be
Superstar Dev. Well, Huckleberry, welcome to the show, man.
Thanks. Nice being on.
Let's go.
How do you like the DNVR bar, and how do you like the DNVR studio?
Hey.
Oh, it's absolutely amazing. This is something I've never seen before. I've never been a part of a broadcast or anything like that. So, I mean, this is all new to me. Not only is it new, but it's awesome.
Well, then you should know this is the gold standard. Like, it
Right.
doesn't get any better than this.
Yeah. Would your opinion change if you are shamed here on the steps and you get sent away?
Oh, not at all. I'm not setting the bar for myself very high. So
Good.
It's funny you say that you've never seen a studio or anything like, because neither have I. I actually
Yeah, I've actually never seen the studio either, so
It's pretty cool. You guys should check it out.
yeah.
I've heard great things.
Maybe our man Huckleberry can give you a tour.
Well, first, before we do anything else, the other thing, and I think the thing that's probably most likely to happen if we talk about how the league is going to do a playoff, my hunch is they're just going to go into the playoffs. It's going to be regular. It's just going to be like Western Conference, Eastern Conference. However you are seated right in the standings right now, that's how you're going to go. And it's going to look like this, if this is what it is. Oh, what a nice graphic. Who made that? So what we would look at is a Nuggets-Rockets first-round series. They'd be on the same side as the Clippers and the Mavericks. So, it sucks. Anytime you're in the Western Conference, they're always tough. Huckleberry, I'll ask you first. How do you feel about a Nuggets-Rockets playoff series if they were to go straight into it? No warm-up, just straight into that series.
So my number one worry would be the three-point shooting, but I feel like after a hiatus that has happened due to coronavirus, I feel like we would have the upper hand on that with Jokic and his just natural ability at basketball skills. So,
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, I have Nuggets winning that for sure. I mean, I'm a fanatic, but I mean, that's how it is. We're going to win that series. So.
Yeah, your shirt makes me think you maybe aren't the most objective.
Slight bias.
Slight bias. How many games? So that series, how many games does it go?
So we start off at home, right?
Well,
Well,
there
there's
wouldn't be
no-
a home advantage because it would
Well,
all
yeah.
be-
Oh, you're
I
right.
forgot about that
home
yesterday,
in the
too.
Magic Kingdom.
Yeah.
I'd say six.
Yeah, 6 is always there. It's what everybody. That's just like I don't know 6. I don't
Yeah,
know.
I'm not
Exactly.
feeling 7, but 5 feels bold. 5 feels bold.
Dev, how do you feel about that series, man? What happens in it?
When I sit here and think about it, I think that maybe the Orlando Magic and the Nuggets actually do have a home court advantage because they're so used to not playing
Love
with
it.
a lot of fans
Oh,
Wow.
get outta
that
here.
they're going to be able to turn things around. So I think that they want to decide.
Sorry, Deb, that's actually Matt Moore's line, but thanks for playing.
The Nuggets have had great crowds the last year and a half.
They have.
They have.
Like, last
That's
year and a
true.
half, the
Yeah,
crowds are
man.
They're like a winner.
We're past that. We're past that.
Yeah, what do
talk.
you, I've seen you in the crowd many times. I've giving you a dap amongst a great many people in the main concourse. You know it's true.
Dev, or I'm sorry, D-Line. What do you think? How's that series go?
I don't need D-line. I think that I don't know. Like the Rockets just forever terrify me until I see otherwise. Like I can't get to a place where I can just be like, oh yeah. I'm not confident like Huckleberry. I think maybe I need to have a few more years. To me, I feel like that would just be the curse that the Jazz got last year, like where they just were unfairly exited early, where they should have gone further, but they just got a bad matchup. Like that's a bad matchup for the Nuggets.
It is it has been a bad matchup. What do you think, Wind?
I'd go Nuggets in 7.
Wow.
I'd go Nuggets in 7. Yeah.
Game 7 would be so fun. Game 7 in
It would be
Yeah.
the most stressful moment of my life.
We were talking earlier with Keith yesterday about did the players get to attend? If there was a Game 7, wouldn't
Please.
every team be at it?
Oh yeah.
I would also just love to see which games players attend and which ones just nobody goes to. That'd be
Jokic
awesome.
attends 0 games. He's not going to any of these games.
And the entire team except Jokic is there.
Brandon, what do you think about that Nuggets Rocket series?
I've been on this with I'm just going to agree with Harrison all show. I've been on this with Harrison since we did it in a round table. I like Nuggets in 6. It's all theory, but I'm going to
6.
it's too hard for me to sit here and say
You won over Huckleberry.
yeah, man, there's no one to guard Jokic, and so until I see that work for Houston, I'm just going to assume it goes in Denver's favor.
They are under this belief that they'll be able to guard bigger guys. I will believe it when I see it. I'm not buying it at all that they're going to be able to guard Jokic or any other big man they go up against in the Western Conference. I think they'll be toast.
It's such a feast or famine series for Jokic because he could just get roasted by Westbrook and Harden on stop, and it's like, oh man, there he's getting blown by again. Or he could just drop 50, 40,
Right.
42, 37, or
Right,
both.
or
Yeah.
both, yeah.
But it could be one of those series where it's like, wow, Jokic averaged 38 points per game in that series because PJ Tucker was guarding him. I don't know. It'd be interesting to see. All right, it's that time, Huckleberry. You've been hiding for long enough, man. But it is time to put you to the test. Dev, you know the rules. You are here to be his helper or hater, whatever you have.
Feel free to sink him if you
If
want.
you don't like the way he looks or something about him, you can try to really lead him awry. But Huckleberry, you are now entering the steps. Are you ready?
I am ready.
We'll see if you're ready. Question number 1.
That music.
Which Denver Nuggets player is from Canada? I think we've asked this before.
That's Jamal Murray.
That's correct.
Yes.
That is Jamal Murray.
Build a little tension there. Number 2. What team did the Nuggets trade Malik Beasley and Juancho Hernan-Gomez to?
That would be the Minnesota Timberwolves.
That's also correct. The man is
Let's
rolling.
go.
Number 3.
Swag about
Oh,
Trey
man, this is
Lyles,
a-
also from
This
Canada.
is a tough one. I think.
yeah.
Number 3. What number does Monte Morris wear?
Go to Dev if you need to. You've got a credentialed reporter next to you. I just threw Dev under the bus so hard.
Don't out Dev like that.
I
Jeez.
want to say
My bad, Dev.
Yeah, audio.
I mean, I can't imagine any other number, any other number but 11. But yeah,
you go.
number 11.
Number 11 is correct. He did it.
Yeah.
I love. I can't imagine any other number.
Me neither.
Who did the Nuggets select in the second round of the draft last summer?
All right, hold on. This is gonna take a little digging.
Mental digging out.
Mental
No
digging.
Googling. Yeah.
Dev can't
Last
help
year.
it. If you want to be part of that dig, Dev, go.
Dev, you might lose your credential if you don't get this one.
Well, I know it. I'm gonna let my guy do it.
I mean, it was. I was.
I can hear Arcade cheating in the background.
Unbelievable.
Unbelievable.
They only had one pick last year, so I mean, Bol Bol was the only person they picked. So
All right, good job.
Yeah,
Arcade.
maybe
Good job.
it's Bull.
All right, great job, Ryan and Allie in the background.
You guys are personally responsible for shipping
Brian
this
and Allie, I don't
sticker
know.
pack.
they are.
Number
Yeah, from
5.
downstairs.
What team did Will Barton play before he played for the Denver Nuggets?
That would be the. I'm gonna say Trailblazers.
Congratulations!
Wow.
Made it to number 5. Congrats.
Little liquid confidence was all he needed.
Huckleberry, we have the sticker pack right there at the bar. You can have it, walk on out, or you can risk it all. Try to get a T-shirt.
Also right there at the bar.
T-shirt at the
I
bar.
love it. I love
You
it.
can definitely steal a sticker pack on the way out.
Yeah, just tell them you won. They don't vet this at all.
Yeah, no one's paying attention to this.
Number 6. Which future Hall of Famer did the Nuggets trade for Chauncey Billups?
That's AI, Allen Iverson.
Good
Wow.
job. That's man.
Wow.
We made these easy, man. I like it.
Oh,
Number
unbelievable.
7. Who did the Nuggets lose to in the 2009 Western Conference Finals?
The Los Angeles Lakers.
Also correct.
All right, hold on. Adam, I just got to talk to our guy Noah Tucker here. Stop writing the answers in the chat.
I'll disable comments that people don't know how to.
Stop it, Noah. You just did it again.
All right, comments are disabled. All right, number 8. How many games have the Nuggets won this year? That's
come
a tough
on.
one. Jeez, Harrison.
I have no idea, Harrison. That's so rude.
Who's my cheat for this one?
It's Dev. It's still
Sorry,
Dev.
Dev.
And it's also obviously Allie and Ryan, too. but
Also,
it's officially
Dev's-
Dev.
Sorry, dude.
All
I
right,
didn't know this
I'm
one
gonna go
either.
for Dev. What do you think for this?
43.
You said what?
43.
43. That sounds right. I mean, it was cut short, so.
Yeah, season was cut short.
That's accurate. Yeah.
This is so dumb.
I mean, I have to trust them. I have to. It's 43. I have no idea. So.
You literally have to trust it.
That's correct.
Ah!
Number 9.
Thank you so much.
What was
Come on, Quentin. Try to get something wrong. I gotta watch The Sopranos tonight. Let's get this moving.
What was the
Sopranos.
name of the arena that the Nuggets played in prior to Pepsi Center?
Who's from Denver?
Oh my God! Look at who you're talking to. Dev knows this one. This is like a
Devin.
number 3 question.
Okay, so I know it as a Pepsi Center, but that's obviously not what it is right now.
How many times do I
Good
get to
deductive reasoning.
Do I get to help him again?
Yeah,
You can help him
Yes.
every time.
Nichols. Sports.
Sorry? McNichols? McNichols.
That's correct.
The confidence. Yeah!
send him through.
Oh, this is a tough one. This is a really tough one. But you know what, Huckleberry? It's for a free T-shirt,
It's
which
for
you
a
can
shirt,
pick up
baby.
downstairs. Which team did Bol Bol play for the 2019-20 G League season?
The Windy City. I don't know if they have they have another team. The Bolt. Windy City
We
Bolt.
can see you cheating.
Can you at least pretend you're not getting it?
You're on
Correct. He's
camera.
correct. Congratulations! You want to show everybody. This is a,
Cheating. 100% not cheating. All right. 100%. All the answers I've come up with. Okay. 90% of the answers I've come up with.
that was a lie. That's so funny. All right, well, Huckleberry, here's the rule, man. You're at the DNVR Sports Bar. You can pick up your shirt, walk on out, or go have another drink, whatever you want to do, or you can risk it all. Try to go for a lifetime membership.
Lifetime membership. Ooh.
Take the shirt.
Take the shirt. Eventually, we're gonna ask you what the square root of Jokic's career high is. So you just take the shirt.
You also can take the shirt and you don't have to leave the bar. You can take the shirt and stay at the bar too.
Yeah, you can keep hanging.
Honestly, I was probably gonna get a lifetime membership anyway, so I'll take the shirt.
That's
All right, cool. Works for
All
us.
right.
Yeah, we'll take the money. Thank
That's
you.
great. Hey, man,
Thank you, Quentin.
That was incredible work, Huckleberry. You did it, man.
Way to go, Ryan and Allie.
2 or 3 people to win a shirt.
I don't know who Ryan and Allie are, so.
Just tell Ryan and Allie that they have to now get you a shirt. It's on there. What's on there?
Yeah, this is on their tab.
Oh, hey, guys!
Oh, what are you guys doing there?
Oh, unbelievable.
Guys, this is why you head on down to the DNVR
Who are these
bar.
people? I don't know who they are. So.
This is
Well,
why
that's
you head down. You
unbelievable.
never know who's going to be. You never know if you can hop on the show and jump live right into the broadcast.
You can't anymore. We've decided.
No,
What
thank
a
you so
dud.
much, Huckleberry, for playing Superstar Dev. You were a
Thank
superstar
you.
as always.
Always a
As
pleasure,
always.
brother.
Thanks guys for having me.
You're welcome, Dev. You're
I
so
guess we'll
welcome.
see everybody later.
Say done.
Is that it? I don't know.